dawn of man, we've used our ingenuity to work less and eat more. And for everyone watching this film, munching on a snack, it's clear that we have succeeded. While our ancestors were faced with one choice, hunt or go hungry, recent innovations in science and technology offer mankind the highest convenience for the least amount of effort. Thanks to the drive-thru, Americans now enjoy a standard of living unrivaled in history. Simply put, food is no longer an issue. Or is it? Food has become our answer to everything. We eat to reward. We eat to socialize. We eat to comfort ourselves. The more we eat, the better we feel, so we consume larger portions, sacrificing quality for quantity. Ironically, the food we once depended upon for survival now poses the greatest risk of death for our children. So yes, food is an issue. Whether we know it or not, we are at war, and the ones on the front lines have yet to get their driver's licenses. In fact, today's kids may be the first generation in U.S. history to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. But what can we do?
Today, America is plagued by obesity. More than 2/3 of American adults are considered to be obese or overweight. About 1/3 of children and adolescents ages 6 to 19 are considered to be overweight or obese, and these numbers are continuing to increase.
Obesity refers to an excess amount of body fat. If a child is overweight or obese during their adolescent years, they have a high chance of being overweight or obese as an adult. Obesity can be caused from genetics, but it is mainly due to unhealthy eating habits and lack of exercise. It is an easy disease to diagnose and may not seem like a life-threatening problem, but obesity is the second leading cause of preventable death in the United States at an estimated 300,000 deaths per year. This number has remained relatively stagnant, which, while not completely bad, shows that not enough is being done to reverse obesity in our country.
We decided to speak with a pediatrician and fitness trainer to find out what can be done to restore healthy and happy lives to America's children and teens. We first interviewed medical doctor Georgette Katsetos, a local pediatrician and assistant professor at pediatrics at Frank H. Netter, MD School of Medicine. Fast food restaurants such as the well-known McDonald's play a large role in America's weight problem. The availability of picking up a quick and cheap meal makes it easy for many Americans to eat unhealthy often. This is one of the topics Dr. Katsetos talked most about, stating that excuses are a large cause of obesity. Oftentimes, teens and even parents claim to not have enough time to make a meal. Excuses like these are what lead them through McDonald's front door. The first directed question we presented Dr. Katsetos with was, how does obesity begin for children and teens? To which she replied, ease of access. It's much easier to eat the junk food in the pantry than it is to cook a healthy meal for yourself. As a result, these kids are eating food that does not have the nutritional value they need. Worse, they don't get the exercise that they need. 1 hour of aerobic exercise per day is what we all need. With all of the electronics that have invaded our children's free time, the time most spent doing something physical is now spent at the computer or on a phone. Another question that led our conversation was, who is the most susceptible to obesity? Dr. Katsetos responded, children with obese parents are the most at risk, and second would have to be those families of a low socioeconomic state. If a children's parents are obese, then the parents' habits have a very high likelihood of being passed on to the child. Furthermore, healthy and fresh food is very expensive, so poor families have a harder time of gaining access to these healthy foods. Did you need this, or?
No.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Mr. Weinstein, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions on obesity because I'm doing a project for my poli-sci class.
Yep.
All right. So, first question is, do you think obesity is a big problem in society today?
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
The big problem in the American public because most people don't eat properly and don't get enough exercise.
Okay.
And a lot of fast food opportunities. So that's what causes it.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you think is the most vulnerable to getting obese?
In terms of age groups, you mean?
Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of different age groups can. I think our youth today is more vulnerable to it because a lot of kids just play video games and play on their computer. They're not as prone to getting exercise.
Yeah.
So our youth and adults at the same time, because a lot of people have desk jobs. I think to answer your question, I think it's pretty much across the board. I think all age groups are equally vulnerable.
Okay. What do you think is more important to someone's health, exercise or nutrition?
That's a tough one.
You could say both.
I would say both because they work hand in hand.
Yeah. As a trainer, I imagine you've worked with a lot of overweight people. So, what do you typically try to do to help these people fight this condition?
Um, Basically, what we just talked about. I try to teach them how to eat better and properly, and then I try to set them up with some type of weekly exercise program with a lot of variety, doing different types of activities
Hmm.
to change their lifestyle and make exercise a part of their lifestyle.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Anything else, you let me know.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
See you later.
We think that the solution to the childhood obesity problem and ensuing adult obesity problem in America is tied to economic incentives. Our proposal is something we call the Fit or Fail policy, or FFP. Under the FFP, young Americans will be challenged to achieve fitness and nutrition goals at school and at home. As with classroom subjects, students' success in fitness and nutrition will be measured with a familiar F- through A+ grading system. Their healthy living success will be further measured by their BMI twice yearly. We believe that, in order for the program to be effective for the most at-risk group, socioeconomically disadvantaged families, a federal financial incentive must be included. Simply stated, poor families need more money and America needs more healthy and productive citizens to drive our economy while reducing our healthcare costs. Although there is some complex math to be done, we're confident that there is a point at which increased productivity and reduced healthcare costs will overwhelmingly offset tax credit incentives paid to families whose children achieve fitness, nutrition, and BMI goals.
Our program would begin in kindergarten with baseline fitness, nutrition, and BMI measurements along with family counseling about the FFP. Guided by professionals, the curriculum will allow for flexibility in kids that develop at different rates, but will still be governed by black and white grades, nutrition standards, and BMI. Tax-paying parents of kids will earn FFP tax or college tuition credit incentives every year. The higher the kid's fitness or nutrition grades and the lower his or her BMI, the more money the family stands to gain through the program.